Genetically altered freaks?
Any that were malformed or just too damn hard for anybody to look at, we left them here.
Genetically altered freaks. That's what they called them. Monsters too deformed, too grotesque to face the public. So, they dumped them on this remote island like yesterday's biohazard trash. And Jurassic World Rebirth is doing more than just dusting off dino bones for nostalgia. This isn't just a sequel, it's a soft reboot with a dark twist. The kind that asks, what if our so-called happy ending wasn't an ending at all, but the beginning of something more disturbing? Soft reboot, you ask? Didn't we already get like 7 movies? You're not wrong. But Rebirth is carving its own mutated path, new cast, new horrors, and new chaos. Despite continuing from where the last films left off, Rebirth gives the franchise a fresh face, literally. With an all-new cast and tone, it's wiping the slate clean while keeping the bloodstains. And hey, real quick, if you're a true Jurassic Park fan, you'll love the parody merch in our store. From Dino jokes to clever girl tees, we got you covered. But back to business, because this so-called rebirth feels more like a countdown to extinction, not a mass extinction of dinosaurs, but of the franchise as we know it. The final scenes of this film aren't just fan service, they're setting the stage for something big, something darker. And to understand just how deep this rabbit hole goes, we need to dissect the ending, frame by frame, because what looks like a triumph might actually be the beginning of a new nightmare. So here's the setup. The crew has just collected biological samples from Earth's biggest, baddest beasts. Victory, right? Not so fast. They're immediately ambushed by the latest Frankenstein creations, mutant dinos unlike anything we've seen. And yeah, we've seen a lot. These things aren't just rehashes of the Indominus Rex or the Indoraptor. Some of them, called Mutadons, are genetic flukes. Think raptor meets pteranodon, with a sprinkle of science gone wrong. But then, there's the D-Rex. This thing? It's on a whole different level. Inspired by Star Wars Rancor, fused with a xenomorph, and still somehow part T-Rex. It's like someone fed your childhood nightmares into a blender. And get this, they don't even try to pretend this monster came from a lab accident. It's basically the T-Rex's demonic cousin. It's got the rage of a bull, the silhouette of an ape, and the vibe of something that should not exist. But before the D-Rex gets its claws on the crew, we get one last classic nod, a distraction flare and a getaway. Jurassic style, Zora and Henry, the brainy duo of the bunch, manage to survive and even decide to do something wild. They share their findings with the world. Yup, no military secrecy, no billionaire buyouts. Just open source science for humanity? Sounds noble? Sure, but also like the perfect setup for disaster. Let's be real. Unlocking the genetic potential of dinosaurs for medicine? Sounds great, until you remember this is Jurassic Park. Nothing stays noble for long. But before we spiral too far into chaos, we hit a sponsor break. Yeah, that was me earlier biting my lip from anxiety, but I've got something that's actually helped. Fume. It's not a vape, it's not nicotine, it's flavored air. And it's a game changer. With options like mango and a clicky magnetic design that's oddly satisfying, Fume helped replace a bad habit with a good one. No chemicals, no stress, just vibes. And if you're someone who struggles with oral fixation or just wants to quit something harmful, this might be the solution you didn't know you needed. Okay, back to mutant science and extinction-level drama. So why were they on this island again? Believe it or not, this wasn't just a dino safari. They were trying to harvest the dinosaurs' regenerative DNA to create new medicine. And as wild as that sounds, this idea has been floating in the franchise for years. Lockwood, the guy who split from Hammond, always believed that dino DNA could cure disease. In fact, their falling out was over human cloning and its ethics. Yeah, things got that dark. And if you watched Fallen Kingdom, you'll remember Lockwood's cloned daughter, Maisie. She wasn't just born in a lab. She was genetically modified to survive a disease that killed her mother. Maisie Lockwood wasn't a glitch. She was proof that cloned, genetically edited humans were real and functional. Her immunity to disease was the final puzzle piece Lockwood needed to prove that dinosaurs weren't just movie monsters, they were a genetic goldmine. That revelation shook the foundation of the franchise, and Rebirth builds directly on it. Now, with Zora and Henry open-sourcing the cure, the future of medicine and humanity is about to change. But remember, Jurassic Park is all about chaos theory. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And once human and dino DNA collide, we're entering uncharted territory. This is where it gets terrifying. See, chaos theory coined by our favorite mathematician Ian Malcolm means one tiny change can spiral into global consequences. That's been the heart of this series since day one. We tamper with nature, nature hits back. Wash, rinse, repeat. Spielberg himself wasn't big on sequels for this very reason. How many times can you warn people before it becomes background noise? So, they upped the stakes. Hybrids like Indominus Rex. Then came the Indoraptor. Now, we've got the D-Rex, the grim herald of something even worse. Human dino hybrids. Yup, you heard that right. This isn't just about rogue reptiles anymore. It's about rewriting evolution. The D-Rex isn't just a monster. It's a blueprint. Its ape-like stance and humanoid traits are no accident. It hints at something deeper, the next step in Jurassic evolution. And here's the kicker. Human dino hybrids were already pitched years ago. After Jurassic Park 3 flopped, the studio was desperate. Fan sites like Jurassic Outpost actually suggested military dino soldiers. The idea was trashed, but not forgotten. In 2002, Universal Studios brought it to life during Halloween Horror Nights. Guests walked through dark corridors swarmed by grotesque Triceratops men, acid-spitting lizard freaks, and the hilariously terrifying pterodactyl. It was bonkers, and now it's canon adjacent. So what happens if Hollywood decides to make that nightmare real? What if the next film isn't about dinosaurs anymore, but about what happens when humans become dinosaurs? The door is already cracked open. Rebirth ends with recovered samples that could easily mix dino DNA with human genetics. And history tells us, once something is discovered in Jurassic Park, it will be abused. The greed, the ambition, the I can fix humanity with raptor genes. Crowd, they're coming, and the result won't be heroic. It'll be horrifying. Imagine mutant super soldiers with T-Rex strength, velociraptor instincts, and a thirst for dominance. You scared yet? This idea might sound like pure science fiction, but the groundwork has already been laid. The Extinction Horror Maze from Universal Studios gave us a terrifying glimpse at what these hybrids could become. The Grebnadu, a feral, rage-fueled monster, was their version of a failed superweapon. Just like the Rage virus and 28 Days Later, these creatures didn't think, they attacked. If that's what we're headed toward, then Rebirth isn't a rebirth at all. It's a warning, a genetic arms race that leads not to salvation, but obliteration. And let's not forget, chaos always wins in this franchise. And even if Zora and Henry do make it off that raft alive, what happens next? The cure they discovered might never reach the masses. It could disappear into the ocean or worse, end up in the hands of a shadowy pharma conglomerate. The series has done it before. Set up hope, then snatch it away. But there's still something poetic about how Rebirth ends. It strips the chaos back down to a singular island, reintroducing that eerie isolation we loved in the original. Dinosaurs are no longer roaming cities. They're rare again. And that, ironically, might make them scarier. Rebirth definitely delivers the dino action we crave. Even if the mutants feel like an afterthought, the implications are huge. If human dino hybrids are next, we're not watching a monster movie anymore, we're watching evolution spiral. And yeah, Doug, giant dino people might sound ridiculous. But remember, the 8th movie is always when things go completely off the rails. They've done every dinosaur under the sun. Now, they're going full Frankenstein. So let's get weird. No, seriously. Let's get weird. So, what did you think about Jurassic World Rebirth? Did you catch anything we missed? Think the hybrids are cool or a total franchise killer? Let us know in the comments below, or yell at Doug on Twitter, he wrote this video. And if you're new here, welcome. Hit that bell, smash that subscribe, and stay tuned, because if this is the direction Jurassic Park is headed, you're gonna want a front row seat to the chaos.